Hello there everyone, and welcome back to Napoleon Total War 3 with this Prussian campaign. Last time around we cleared this bridge from this French army, and now we're ready to actually capture the center of this region, which is guarded by two big armies, so it's going to be quite difficult. The more experienced army is going to make its move, and yeah, without further ado, let's move into enemy territory. And they're not actually gonna go ahead and intercept my general, which bodes well, because that means that they're not they don't have a super advantage over us. So let's go ahead and attack the city. So what we can see is the French are going to deploy about 5,000 men, where the more important units to note is their Grand Battery. We've got 12 cannons, I believe. They've also got some Old Guard and lots of cavalry, cuirassiers, and other nasty stuff. Grenadier guards, lots of howitzers as backup cannons, lots of voltigeurs. The battle is in the enemy's favor, but I do think we can turn these odds around. But with that said, and without further ado, let's go ahead and commence battle, shall we? A very foggy day, or I guess we're attacking pretty early in the morning. What I've gone ahead and done is we got the cannons right here, as I did not really get a good position up front. So the high ground which we have, which you can see here on the map, is over in the corner. So I can actually get my cannon shots where they want to go. Then we have got all the grenadiers, so we got the East Prussian grenadiers. These are actually the normal ones. Here are the East Prussian ones. So we got the Prussian Grenadier Brigade, got a sapper up front, got all the line infantry strung out along here. We got the Light Infantry Brigade, which consists of 3 units, Jaegers, 2 guard Jaeger companies in front, got the Hussars over there, and the Dragoons over here. And with this I realized that I'm very outnumbered in the cavalry department. So it's all going to be down to my infantry. With that said, I think it's time to start the battle though. So I want to protect my cannons. We put a bomb here in just in case they get through the bomb. I'm going to place stakes in front of it. And I think the first thing we'll do is actually get the grenadiers out here and get the dragoons on the side. And we'll kind of get the hussars up a bit, just to scout out where the enemy's troops are. And I think we'll just the slightest advance towards the enemy position. They've got a height right here. Thing is, someone asked whether or not it's good to have the high ground, and as a rule, yes, holding the high ground is very good. However, I can remember playing my French campaign, realizing that I guess they maybe, I don't know how they altered maybe the cone of fire, or where the musket ball goes out of the musket, just because they made it so inaccurate, or at least in the version without Bram's submod, that it could actually sometimes be advantageous to stand below the enemy in fire, just because the musket was so inaccurate. Because if you've ever played the standard version of Napoleon Total War 3, you could realize that you can stand 2 units like, you know, a meter away from each other, going full volleys onto each other, and you know, one guy, you know, gets a stone in the bottom of his shoe, and he goes, "Oh, this was annoying." and then maybe 12 hours later someone dies of a heart attack. But no one actually gets killed by musket fire in that mod, most of the time. So it's they're very inaccurate, which means very long and drawn out battles. Let's see. So I'm not entirely sure, but as a rule, yes, you want the high ground. Now the enemy has so much artillery, there's no way they're gonna go ahead and attack us. So we're gonna go ahead and attack them, which is gonna be a problem because they have so many artillery pieces. I think we're gonna go ahead and close in as much as possible with the Grenadier Brigade, and just close up the brigades, I guess. Get them closer to each other. Because right now, they were kind of spread out when I started off, which wasn't that good. So we're slowly closing in here. Slowly drawing together the news. The thing is, my cavalry is going to have to just be used in with areas that we already know are going to break, like a second or two, or already have broken. Because there's no way we're going to send them in against some actual difficult target. Got loads of French troops. Oh, look at that. I think... Oh, we have fired on the Grand Battery. And we've already killed almost half the cannons in it. They only have 6 left. 200 men to man those cannons. That's more than some of my infantry units. Let's see if we can get the Jaegers up to a point where they can actually fire on the enemy. And let's close the different brigades. Get them closer to each other. Get the dragoons into the flank and so forth. Right. The Jaegers are in a position where they can fire onto the enemy line. And what do we have on the closest area to us? We've got Voltigeurs, quite a few, Young Guard Voltigeurs, Belgian Grenadiers, the Old Guard unit, which is placed in the center, and then as we go through we have lots of units. So lots of Voltigeurs here. Which means a lot of accurate fire, and we see this unit right here has already taken 8 casualties just by standing behind the front units here. Given that we have Voltigeurs, we don't want to have prolonged fights against them, so I'm calling in the dragoons to send them away. We've got some movements over here. Those stars are kind of out of place from the rest of the army. And here comes the dragoons. We'll tell the artillery to hold fire as it's firing right towards these troops. Let's get both of them. So far no casualties among the... I shouldn't have said that, because as soon as I did they lost 3 men. Heavy casualties however on the French units. And kind of caused this part of their army, kind of pushed it into disarray. I think we have a counter charge of enemy cavalry, so we're gonna redraw. And I'm gonna tell the artillery to open fire again. Let's hope that the my dragoons are able to get out of there. You know, these trees and stuff, it looks also like that's a bit of a... Did I get this one as well? No, I hope not. It looks like it was there's a little bit of a ridge here, which I didn't actually see to begin with. And also the few trees that were up here probably catched up quite a few bullets. The French cavalry is a bit indecisive. Oh, was that canister? Shit. Light Brigade is coming under heavy attack. And this unit lost heavily against French Voltigeurs. The French counter-charge failed. Where the Guard Jaegers held out. And we've got quite the rout going in on the enemy's right side. Luckily that I noticed that, because that could have... The angle there was not in our favor. Certainly not. Those young guard flankers. We need to get those. I'm gonna move the Jaegers over here and go through the forest and attack them, shoot them down. And then the Grenadiers can move their way up towards here. We'll have the line go ahead and put themselves there, and I'm gonna put the light brigade right there. Grenadiers gonna gain a little bit of ground. Okay, the French are reorganizing, and as they are, gives me time to get the my Jaegers into the forest. They did have quite a lot of voltigeurs, but the Hussars should be able to cut them down once it actually goes into that sort of level of battle. Right, the Young Guard Chasseurs are opening fire. Looked like they shot 2 Jaegers there. However, I have about 100 Jaegers against theirs 50. So once that rifle fire starts up, plus we've got a good position within the forest. What's this? Right, the second French army is going to come up, and it's actually going to turn up behind us. So we kind of want to end this now, or sooner rather than later. So I'm gonna speed up our movements just to smash this French army before the second one can turn up in force. And we can see about hitting the French before they thoroughly arm position. Right, we have nasty voltigeurs. Let's go through the forest. The light brigade is definitely going to be in trouble unless we get a lot of the infantry brigade to aid. I'm hoping these guys have forgot about the Hussars. The Hussars can now turn back. Very close quarters fighting here. These guys need to be brought down. They will with cavalry. Right, the Hussars have arrived. Charge into this. Got massed infantry right here. I think we're shooting a lot back and forth into the hill. Okay, the Hussars kind of snagged onto this guard unit. They have not that many men. The dragoons are in. And they will sweep away these, so I can push the Grenadiers forward. Ooh, we've got lots of nasty crap going on there. My Hussars kind of tearing up through here. Okay, with this, the infantry can go ahead and more fully go ahead and attack. See if we can get the Grenadiers up there. Right, my Jaegers are getting overrun by enemy cavalry unit that's turned up. Form square. But I still want to envelop the infantry that we have here. Mass cavalry charge towards our line. It's going, however, to fail. Oh, my Hussars have now given up.
Our men are running.
We have another unit running. It's a Grenadier unit, actually. Oh, my Grenadiers! I did not think that that square was gonna break. What is this? Chasseur à cheval. of the guards has turned up behind us and actually broke not only the two Jaeger companies, but a grenadier unit. Let's see, do I have any grenadiers I can force into a square? It's not going too nice on this side either, just because of this unit. We are kind of breaking them down here. I think this square, hopefully this square will be enough. I might have to form another one. Oh yeah, my bloody dragoons. Get back in there. But I do not... I shouldn't forget about... you know what? We need the prince up front. And the Jaegers will retire to this area. I'll have the prince... both of those units broke, which I didn't really want. Those Württembergers were needed. I think these units are kind of shooting into the hill, so they need to march up. We got quite the cavalry battle here against my infantry, but they're holding out. My dragoons are being sent in. Right now I've ordered the cannons to fire onto these troops, so we'll see how that goes. The frontline forces, I think we're breaking down the French troops. The Belgian Grenadiers certainly don't like their position right now. We're smashing through this. They're tired and very concerned. Plus the dragoons, they're not able to break through the infantry. Just form the second square. The light infantry brigade has moved up. That should be able to deliver quite a bit of damage to the enemy here. The infantry units, or the ones that really aren't under fire right now, need to gain a bit of ground. Okay, the enemy cavalry was sent away. I'll tell the cannons to hold fire, or to pick targets on their own. The two squares need to be broken, and then the 3 grenadier units need to be moved further into the flank there. My dragoons chasing these guys down, getting these guys back, and boom. And now we're quickly able to break a lot of their infantry, even the guard. What we have here is loads of cannons, which we'll have to charge out. We have a few units rallying over here. Which I'm gonna order the cavalry to deal with, but also the artillery. And the light brigade have put enough damage on these, and now we'll turn to face that side. We got a cavalry charge coming in. Right, if you want to be stupid, a stupid general, and ride into my grenadiers, then by all means you can go ahead and die. Charge there, cannons, fire for the square. Got another general, or it's a commanding unit, not a proper general. The enemy was sent away. Let's see, grenadiers. 3 grenadier units. I don't think we're gonna make it all the way to the forest, so what we'll do is we'll draw the line there. You will drop the square. These line infantry will go like so. We'll put Prince there. And the enemy is It's more or less broken here, but so is my cavalry.
Our men are running, sir.
But yeah, we got all of that. Woutenbergers are back, so the light brigade is back. General's gonna move over there. I do have a cavalry unit. Prussian dragoons have turned up. I'm gonna go ahead and charge down a few of these. Main line is opening fire as we've got cuirassiers making a head-on charge. Which, I mean, that was never gonna work, was it? Right, the light brigade take a position here, I think. And then we have the grenadier, one in the middle, and infantry. The unit that rallied over here was the Jaeger company. I wonder if I might want to move the cannons. They do kind of have range over there. Fire at will from this position. And you decide to fire at routing troops instead. This small dragoon. You know what? I'll tell that one to continue routing, and then we'll hope some reinforcement from Charnhorst turn up, and then we'll have these two dragoons make it over here. As these guys get into position, we'll get the entire line forward. It looks like the French reinforcement unit isn't that keen on actually gaining ground towards us. However, some ground I probably need is this forest right here. So we will start our advance towards that area. Which will be nice. Right. Dragoons on their way. So and so. Cannons, you know what? Hold fire and then wait for the enemy to appear over here before we open fire again and try to shoot the enemy down. I don't know where all those howitzers were that we saw earlier. So this is the big 12-gun battery, which has lost cannons all over the place. A massive amount of French troops lying scattered across the field. Let's see. All my grenadiers. What kind of ground do we have here? I think we'll have to move all the way up here to be able to clear line of fire. So we'll not actually set up within the forest. And then the line will be dragged out towards that. And I think maybe I can hide the Jaegers out there. Now we've spotted the enemy. So I'll tell the cannons to open fire. And we've got the light brigade, which currently also includes a musketeer. But I think we need 4 units over here. To start off, we'll set them up here, but I'll give them more detailed orders in among the houses. General, set up behind the center, behind the grenadiers. We have some light horse riding in front of the line, and I'll have plenty of time to have the line get in order before these guys reaches us. So that's not going to be a problem. My dragoons, actually we got lots of cavalry from Scharnhorst, which will take up position here. And they can all be part of a major sweep onto the enemy once their cavalry has been dispersed. Also note that they are putting down spikes at the edge of the forest here. I don't see what the French are doing full frontal charges right onto our lines. Now the French do have brave cavalry, but they're not that brave that they're gonna be able to go head first into prepared lines of grenadiers firing onto them. Quite a lot of enemies there, so we kind of need to get the light brigade out of the houses and in to be able to fire onto the flank. Kinda need you guys to get back in position and open fire on the enemy before they shoot you guys to pieces. I'm gonna inspire this unit. And also I think we can turn these two in towards the enemy. Get the Jaegers a little bit of better ground. And right now the enemy is slowly but surely putting itself once more into my encirclement, which seems to be the main plan of all the French commanders, or all my enemy commanders really. They have though enough infantry in the center here to push straight through my lines. You know, I don't have canister or anything to support. The only thing we have is the Prince to support the line. I'm hoping that's enough. And the supporting lines in the flanks. I don't think the 5th Grenadiers will be able to stand. Got artillery, we've got some other stuff. I think might be time for my cavalry to be sent in. That unit is definitely going to come back, which I don't want. Cavalry charging into the back of the enemy. Bayonet charging from the front. And let's sweep all these French and Belgian troops off the field. Alright, Scharnhorst is chasing down the Grenadiers. Quite quickly the French crumble. However, I've spotted some... Oh! I did win apparently. These guys, I guess they didn't rally in time. Let's see if we can reorganize these guys before they shoot each other to death. Which I can see quite a bit of friendly fire going around. And also I kind of forgot to tell the cannons to hold fire, which probably caused a bit of friendly fire as well. There we have it. Right, cavalry, organize yourself over there. Scharnhorst.
Sir, our general is under attack.
It's all the way over here. It's gonna be ordered back. So there was so much confusion here But I just want to go and quickly take a look at what we accomplished. Looks like there's lots of French troops. Not so many of ours. Turned to an absolute mess there. With our frontal bayonet charge. Combined with the cavalry coming in from the back. I mean, there's only French troops lying there. So, the Battle of the Bridge was a decisive victory. And it looks like this one was a decisive victory as well. Which is very nice and should enable us to quite quickly continue on to Paris. And Blucher and his men should be able to pursue the Spanish to a degree, but more importantly they will help us out towards Paris, because beyond Paris, I think Paris has a full... You know what, let's go to the campaign map to actually take a look, so we know what we're actually talking about. So it actually this battle actually comprised of 2 battles, one of which took place here, and one that took place here. And in both battles, we were victorious. Right, let's go on to the campaign map, shall we? Right, so I actually said it was a decisive, but it wasn't actually decisive. It only counted as a close victory, which I'm not entirely sure how they managed to calculate that. Because out of 5,000 French men, only 500 got out. And I lost only 1,000 of my 5,000 men army. Highest killers goes to actually a Prussian grenadier unit. Which I was surprised. And then Württemberg light infantry. And then first and third place comes dragoons. And then we have grenadiers actually doing a lot of the good stuff in this battle. Highest losses is also among the grenadiers. This grenadier unit didn't do too hot. I imagine this was the one that was run down by the horses then. But then we also have another grenadier just below them, just a normal Prussian grenadier, which lost 90 men, which is second runner-up to the most losses. And they managed to kill 531 Frenchmen. Astonishing good results, I'd say. I don't know where they got it, but it was a close victory. We'll occupy the region. With this, it's opened up a port, which should allow me to possibly sign trade with Württemberg, which a sea route cannot... Oh, I can't... Okay, so I need an unbroken line of like land mass to actually be able to trade with them. Oh, you know what? I don't actually have an unbroken land way towards them, do I? Yeah, yes I do. Through here. I guess since it has to actually go through a port, it messes it up. So I would need a direct link to actually trade with them. Which I cannot get unless I sort of attack one of my own vassals, I guess. Or Austria. Right, anyways. We captured this place. A wonderful result. Could actually put him there on that bridge because it would be within range to resupply or reinforce this army. There's not a lot of troops guarding Paris. However, they do have some on the way. And technically, I will win once I take Paris. Because I will have all the victory regions. And, I mean, no one can really stop me. Napoleon is, I think, still here. Blucher and his men. We got bloody 3 armies. 3 armies coming this way, with only remnants of a Spanish force over here. So we'll definitely be able to take Paris next turn. And then I'll win. And I guess it's up to you guys if you want me to kind of run it through. I guess we need to. I don't think I've actually faced Napoleon in battle, so we need to face Napoleon in battle. So I think even if I'll take the executive decision to decide that even though I'll accomplish the goals of the campaign by taking Paris, I will not rest until we've actually defeated defeated Napoleon in battle. Right, so with that said, I hope you guys enjoyed it, and hopefully I'll see you guys for the next one. Bye!